Welcome on into today's trade recap. We are looking at an $8.10 day. Would you look at that? No, but in all seriousness, partial profits, two more shares is what the partial profits were taken off the Adobe long. And then I entered a target trade that I suspected was going to be a swing trade. But it's doing the exact same thing that it did to me last time I tried to go at target, so I decided to just cut it off today. So here we are on the Adobe position. I've locked in $109 already, but we still got open shares. We had 10, we are down to 6. We've been slowly scaling out along the way. We'll cover that chart here in a second. And then the target trade, I guess I can go to the target trade right here, or the target chart, I should say. We entered 45 shares at 131.96, and then it sold about $1 drop later. We'll cover this in this Bitcoin chart here in a second, but here's the daily chart. Daily looked good. It did. For like, a half hour to an hour, which is when I got in. And then it fell underneath that level pretty quickly today. And I'm not doing it. There's no way I'm interested in holding on to that. Here's the thing with Target. I think it could be good. And just like the last time I was in it. I got in on the break here. It's just the reality is it's not the strongest sector. It's not the strongest stock. So it shouldn't have been. This one I felt better with because of the earnings gap up and the strength. So I liked it. But then if you zoom out, to be honest with you, like it probably wasn't even a good trade anyway. It's just better stuff out there. It has a massive volume node that it's currently sitting at, which is where it consolidated for like 2-3 months earlier this year through the summer through the summer. So it would need to break above that. If it gets above 137, I mean, there's room to like 150, I think, very nicely. So maybe it's good later on, but I thought maybe we'd see the push now. No. So once it fell back under the breakout point, I'm like, yeah, just get out of this thing. And here's the 5-minute chart. So like it did look good for a good like half hour-ish, and then I got in like somewhere in here and then quickly fell. And then once the way I really stopped out was like, okay, like, hey, if it comes back to VWAP and holds that and then finishes strong at the end of the day, no big deal. I'll stay in as long as it stays above the break point. But quickly I realized, with where the S&P was just doing this all day, not doing much. So like the S&P is not going to move much. It could, but not much. And then Target's got this, it starts to break down under VWAP and like, okay, yeah, it's not going to happen. So that was the thought there on that. So rather than hold it all the way down to my risk, which really wasn't that much further. It was really just breaking candle low, which now is pretty close, but like it wasn't at the time. I saved myself a few bucks. So that was the deal on the target trade. But yeah, that's where we currently stand. And open position wise, we've got Bitcoin, Meta, Adobe. So we got all those still looking good. Yeah, the Adobe was up nice. So remember how I was saying the next take profit area is over 620. And well, we got there, and so I took some profits today. Here's the weekly chart on Adobe. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Past couple of weeks. I got in about 2.5 weeks ago, and here we are, beautiful. Maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. So that looks really good. That's the Adobe trade to the upside. Meta, similar, well, not similar, but kind of same general gist, breaking out to its upside as well. Meta just continues to kind of like inch its way up. Meta is breaking to the north of pretty substantial volume here. So I don't know. We could start to see that if market stays strong, if Meta stays strong, I should say, and we hold the breakout point, which is, about 12, 13 bucks from or 15 bucks from where we currently are. If we hold that level, so that's kind of like the leeway I'll give it, and we even back test or whatever, like this looks pretty good for, I don't know. We'll see what happens on it, but it looks good. That's all I'm going to say. So we'll see if we can get 350. That's like the spot I'll be really interested in taking some profits off. Start taking profits off there. That's like right underneath these highs. So that's 350 is about $9 away. That's my first area I'm looking for. And then See if we want to go for more than that. We'll see. Whatever the chart's momentum gives us. Bitcoin up 4% today after a down day yesterday, 4% today. Here's the weekly chart on BTC. I mean, you've got like a weekly 3 weekly candles with really strong resistance right at this 38,000 area. But those lower wicks. So all of these weekly candles have lower wicks, and you've just got a clear trend to the upside. So just like every time it comes down, it gets sucked right back up is what it seems like. But then it gets up to this resistance and it falls off. So you're consolidating. You've got a nice tight wedge. I don't really care. I think I got in this trade, like I said before, I got in a little bit earlier than I should have. I got in on this candle right here. And stop loss was under this low, and then I moved my stop loss to under this area right here, which is around 35.4, give or take. That's where the stop loss is. Got kind of close, earlier yesterday, this morning, but about $200 away, which is actually pretty close. But it keeps pushing up, man. It just keeps kind of getting sucked right back up. So here's the thoughts on this. I mean, I moved my take profit on this to 47,000. I don't intend to take profit at that level, but I moved my ultimate target to that level. So why? If you look at the volume profile, when we zoom out here, that's like the next bigger volume node. Like nothing crazy, but yeah, it's the next bigger volume node. So it's currently like got to grind through this area right here. 40K is going to be key. I'm going to start taking profits at 40K, and then I'll just scale from there, ideally scaling into here, and then I'm getting the hell out of it by 47, 48K if it gets there before it hits the stop loss. I mean, that's the scenario. So that's the thought process on it. I think I got in a little bit earlier than I should have, but we're in it, and that's it. So confirm it here over on Surge Trader and refresh it for you. The current account balance is at 51,054. We have realized gains put us at 50,714. We just hit. We didn't hit a high water mark. We're very close, but pretty much at the highest I've had it at. So that's cool. But again, trades and positions are still open. So let them do their thing. In the meantime, though, we did $8 of realized gains today, technically speaking, but then we're up 106 because of unrealized gains in other positions. So that's the deal. If the moves, I've been thinking about this before too. I'm like, well, if you do the math, if you got 20% in, 1 month, from when I opened the account, and then you average 20% per month on the growth target. I'm saying not 20% on the portfolio, but in terms of my growth targets, let's say $1,000 a month. If you average $1,000 a month, that takes 5 months to pass. I thought about that and myself, and I'm like, it seems like it's kind of a long time. But at the same time, it's not that long, like in my opinion. It's just like the time horizon I'm thinking on this. Like I'm not really in a rush. I really am not, So we definitely can and will scale up slowly as, again, data permits, and I don't want to say I feel confident, but as the data gives me the confidence in doing so. So we'll see. But again, all it really is, in my view, is like if I get better at stringing together the good, and we string together a month of good, I don't see why you can't have, or why I can't have a month that does 2 to 3K in profits with the current sizing that I'm using. Not even saying, oh, size up, with the current sizing, if I can, if I'm operating properly and we're getting decent moves and my strategy is working well, I don't see why you can't get a month like that. I feel like that's what I've been working towards, putting it all together, getting there. Obviously you're not going to always have months like that, but it'll come eventually. Maybe it's next month, maybe it's in 6 months, maybe it never happens. We'll see. But these are the current stats. I mean, like I was saying, we have unrealized gains, so our net P&L is technically red, but we do have unrealized gains. So if those tend to keep working out, this is going to slowly get eaten away. I haven't really taken many day trades at all. I didn't take any day trades this week at all. This week was all just trades that I had already been in and taking partial profits and then locking in gains. That's really it. So our win rate looks like shit for now. Again, that could change. Our average win-loss looks good. That's a good number. I'm happy with that number. So that's a wrap. There's a current promotion on TradeZella when you're watching this. That's going to end very, very shortly. Promotions on Surge Trader for 25% off if you're interested. There are plenty of props out there. There are cheaper ones out there if you don't trade shares. If you trade shares of stocks like I do a lot of the times, then this is one that just seemed to work for me. So that's what I went with this one. But there's deals out there for that, deals out there for TradingView, and really anything that you want. I'll leave links to all that stuff down below this video in the description box if you're interested in trying anything out during the promotional periods, setting yourself up for a nice end of year. And I'll see what happens. The market looks pretty good, I guess, overall, right? Everything today is up. Dow's up, IWM's up, Qs are up, SPY's up, not by a ton, but they're up. And are we expecting much going into Friday or Thursday? Markets closed. Friday's a half day. I don't think so. So what happens next week? That will be kind of like the setting of the stage for what's next. So there you guys have it. That's today's trade recap. $8, but again, it's just, managing swings really is what it is. So thanks so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.